Hey everyone. Well, I'm just gonna take this opportunity to advertise, the DTC show. This year on May 3rd and 4th of 2013, which is, less than a month away. So, I've got 7 performances. They're awesome. You guys should really come. I know a couple of us from class are in it. It's gonna be an awesome show. Just a little, word from our sponsors. So, the article that I did this month was called "The Power of a Teacher," written for the Chicago Tribune. The speaker was not clearly indicated, so the author didn't write their name on the article, so I'm not sure who the author is. But the occasion was, it didn't precede a significant event, but it was published 3 months prior to when schools usually close for summer vacation, approximately. And the audience is intended for parents, school board advisors that evaluate and hire teachers, and public school teachers. The purpose of the article is to convince the audience that a teacher and both parents have a major influence on the outcome of a student's life. Teachers and parents can inspire students or influence them negatively, and so the audience connects to the purpose in the manner that the author tries to convince the parents, school board advisors, and public school teachers, like, how much of an impact their decisions can make on or their decisions/actions can make on a child's life. The subject of the article is, like I just stated, the impact of public school teachers and parents. The article mainly talks about teachers, but it addresses parents briefly, and I thought that connected to the author's overall purpose because it seemed like a very significant point when I later talk about the rhetorical strategies that the author uses. The tone of the article was in a didactic tone, and the author showed this through like the conditions that can result from certain educational environments that, like, the author believed had an impact on a child's life. What I mean to say, in other words, is that I felt the author had a didactic tone when the author was talking about certain situations that have resulted from the certain education that a child has received. One example was that they knew a child One example was that that a child could have been neglected at a younger age by their parents or other parental figures, guardians, so to speak, and that could have resulted in low self-esteem, which didn't really motivate the child to want to perform to their best ability. I mean, obviously this doesn't happen in all cases, but in the author's opinion, this is the biggest result from that type of circumstance. And the author uses diction, I guess right in the beginning of the article, to show the author's not trying to beat down teachers. The author actually praises teachers, and the author uses words like praise, dedicated, grueling, dig, most disadvantaged, most dangerous, and inspire, to show that these public school teachers really invest their whole life, not their whole life, but that these teachers really invest their hearts into helping children that maybe need more attention, and they work in dangerous areas and through very long hours to make sure that they're giving students the proper grades that they deserve, and the proper education that the teacher can give to their best ability. And another use of the author's diction is through the word we. The author says "we feel," I think once or twice throughout the article, to make the reader feel pathos. So the author uses diction and inflicts pathos, and when the author says "we," it makes the reader feel like they're connected to the cause, and they're speaking directly to the author. Like, it's almost like a conversation, and it makes them feel more connected. And the author uses logos once or twice. It's not one of the most significant uses of a strategy, but the author does use statistics to support or make their argument a little bit more convincing. And the last two uses of pathos that I thought were very significant was that towards the end of the article, the author states almost a list of a couple of things that certain parents should be doing to ensure that they're providing their children with the best ability to learn, because the author makes the point that learning starts at home and also is at school. So it's not only in school, it also continues on at home, and that parents also have a job in educating their children. And so when the author gives this list, it makes parents, if the person reading is a parent, it makes them maybe feel guilty that if they hadn't been completing one of the tasks on the stated checklist, so to speak, they might be depriving their child of proper education or the proper potential to learn or want to learn. And if the reader's not a parent, maybe a student like I am, then the student might feel that, they might look at that list and wonder if they were deprived of anything, like maybe they weren't encouraged in their life to read outside of school, and that would be on the list, and the student would feel like they were being deprived of proper education. Like it'd be almost like a wake up call, not to that certain extent, but to the extent where they realize the effect that learning has in different environments. And if the person reading the article was a teacher, it might make them reevaluate how they are teaching and their certain skills and what they are teaching. And lastly, there is a statement that clearly, I'm not sure what it said word for word, but the statement in the end, the last sentence of the article, is something like, if you were able to have an impact on a child's life, what would you do, or something like that. And it leaves the reader thinking and wondering exactly what the author wants them to feel, which is pathos. Like, the author wants them to feel like they have an effect. And so through the word we, through different uses of pathos and diction and the tone, the author wants not only the reader to feel that teachers and parents have an influence, that they could have an influence. By the end of the sentence, you realize that the author also wants you to feel that you might have an influence on a child's life.